Welcome to our tutorial, illustrating mainly how to set up a private calendar using the Simple Calendar Google Calendar Pro add-on. To begin with, head over to the Plugins section within your WordPress dashboard. Here, ensure that you have installed and activated the free Simple Calendar plugin and Simple Calendar Google Calendar Pro add-on. Next, head over to Calendars Connect section. Here we have our video basically showing how to proceed with the calendar setup. Click on the Continue Setup button, and you will be redirected to another screen, whereby we are provided with two Calendar Pro configuration options, either authentication via Simple Calendar or manual configuration using your own credentials. This step basically forms as the second step in the setup process as illustrated in the chart. In our video here, we will begin by using the authentication via Simple Calendar. So click on the Authenticate button. On the next screen, select the Google account that you are fetching the calendar from and then click on the Allow button. As we can see now, the authentication is now successful. We now want to display our Google Calendar, My Cal, here, which is a private calendar. So I'll head over to the Calendars, Add New Calendar section. Next, I'll add my calendar title. You can leave the shortcodes in place just as they are and then head over to the Calendar Settings, Event Source section. Set the event source to Google Calendar Pro, the calendar type to default, and then the view to either grid or list view. In my case, I will select grid. Next, proceed to the Events tab. Here you will need to set the calendar start date, so for this video I will set this to this month. As for the earliest event date, I will set to be the same as start date. Lastly, for the latest event, I will set it to the default 1 year after start date. Within the Appearance tab, you can leave these settings just as they are, and then head over to the Google Calendar Pro section here. Within this section, you are provided with a calendar field. On this field, you will need to select the Google Calendar that you wish to have rendered within your site. In my case, I select My Cal. I will also enable the use of event colors in my calendar. Within the Advanced tab, you can leave the settings in place intact with no changes and proceed to publishing your calendar. Next, preview your calendar on the front end in a new tab. As you can now see, our calendar is now rendered as expected with the events in place and the event colors applied. Now let's head back to the Calendars Connect section within the WordPress dashboard so that we can use the second authentication approach. To begin with, click on the Disconnect button, and from the pop-up rendered, approve the disconnection. Next, click on the Manual Method link rendered here. On the next screen, we are now required to fill in various fields. Specifically, these two fields are the Client ID and Client Secret fields. So let's proceed to generating these fields. To do so, head over to the Google Cloud Console. Here, select one of your projects to use, and if you do not have one, create a new one by clicking on the New Project link. In my case, I'll select this. Next, head over to the navigation bar over here, APIs and Services, and select the Library section. On the next screen, search for the Google Calendar API within the search field in place. Once found, you may then select the Google Calendar API and proceed to its detail page. Enable the Google Calendar API. Next, head over to the Credentials section. Click on the Create Credentials button link at the top, and from the options rendered, select the OAuth Client ID. We are first required to set up a consent screen for our application, so click on the Configure button. Then click on the Get Started button. Within the App Name field, set your preferred name, then select the preferred user support email. On to the next section, select your preferred audience, either internal or external. In my case, I set to internal. Next, Set your contact email within the Contact Information section. Agree to the Google API Services policy and click on the Create buttons to finalize the setup. Head back to the navigation sidebar and navigate to the APIs and Services Credentials section. Click on the Create Credentials button link at the top and select OAuth Client ID. Select Web Application as the application type. Then provide a name for your app within the name field. You can also leave this to the default name generated. Next, within the Authorized Redirect URI section, you will need to add your redirect URI. This URI is generated by default within the plugin. To identify it, please head back to your WordPress dashboard, and on the Calendra's Connect screen, you will find a redirect URI field with the link in place. Copy this link and then paste it within the URI field. Once the URI is added, click on the Create button to finalize the client ID creation. From the pop-up rendered, we can now see that our OAuth client is now successfully created. Here we have the client ID and the client secret in place. First, copy the client ID value and then head back to the WordPress dashboard and paste the client ID in the client ID field. Next, copy the client secret. You can also download the JSON file with both of these values. Head back to the WordPress dashboard and paste the client secret within the Google OAuth Client Secret field and click on the Save and Authenticate button. On the next screen, select the Google account that you will be using to fetch your calendars. Only one Google account can be used at a time. Allow your web application to access your calendars and Google Drive files. We can now see that our Google Calendar account is now fully connected from the notification here. You can now proceed to creating your calendar. To do so, navigate to the Calendars, Add New Calendar section. Next, add a title for your new calendar. You can leave the shortcode section intact just as it is. Scroll down to the calendar settings and within the Event Source field, set this to Google Calendar Pro, the calendar type to default, and the view to either list or grid. In my case, I will opt to go with the grid view. Navigate to the Events tab, and here we are presented with several fields. I will set the calendar start to this month, the earliest event to same as start date, and the latest event to the default 1 year after start date. Within the Appearance tab, here you can leave all the settings to the default or opt to make adjustments to them. Head over to the Google Calendar Pro tab. On this segment, you will need to select the calendar that you wish to display within the calendar field. In my case, this will be MyCal. You can also optionally enable the use of event colors and leave the rest of the fields intact. Within the Advanced tab, you can leave the setting to the defaults or make adjustments to your preference. Subsequently, publish your newly created calendar. Let's now proceed to view the calendar on the front end in a new tab. As we can now see here, the calendar is now rendered as expected with the events in place and the respective event colors applied on them. Thanks for watching.